This is the Casbah. This is where the Beatles had their residency with Pete Best as their drummer. Mona Best owned the place, and the Beatles were here in this house that she bought. And she bought it and turned it into this venue for rock and roll. We're going to go inside and look around because Mona Best, the owner, her youngest son, is going to give us a tour. Come on, let's go in. This is Mona Best's youngest son, her youngest child. We're standing in the Casbah that was owned and started by his mother.
Because Peter did have a terrific fan club, compared to the others.
It's too good looking, perhaps, eh?
Well, I'll leave that for the other people to say, but from my point of view, we haven't come here to sort of throw any sticks and stones at the boys, because there is no really hard feeling. There was at first, but as I say, success is hard to come by, and these things do happen. But it's just the way that it was done that has annoyed us, that's all. If it had been done a bit more straightforward, it would have been...
Opened up August 29th, 1959. Today is August 29th, 2023. It opened up a long time ago. His father was Neil Aspinall, the Beatles' first road manager, and the person who drove them down to Decca Records.
Started as a roadie, became the road manager, and eventually became the managing director of Apple.
And he took them on that snowy night, December 31st, 1961, to their first recording audition at Decca, which they failed.
They did.
But from what I read, they went on to a successful career.
They did quite well, yeah, they did okay,
But he just gave us a tour, and I got to thank him. It was beautiful. Thanks.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
So this was the first stage where they appeared. They weren't yet the Beatles when they were here, but it was John, Paul, and George performing right here. There's no room for an audience. There's no room to do anything. Paul McCartney painted this ceiling. George Harrison painted this ceiling, and it's still here today. Here's a picture of Paul standing in front of this wall behind me. Let's take a look at some of the other rooms here. This is the bandstand where they first appeared using the name The Beatles. December 17, 1960, they stood here. This place was so crowded. There's only enough room for 30, 40. The thinner they were, the more people that could get in. But there's no audience room here at all. But they moved in and they kept crowding the band back further and further to where it got to the point they couldn't play. They couldn't play their instruments. So Mona Best, the owner of this place, put up this railing so that they could at least give the band some room. And a lot of bands appeared here and played here. The Searchers, Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, the Beatles. Ringo performed on the drum set here with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes before he became a Beatle. But they had a residency in this house. The Beatles performed in this Casbah as the Beatles. It's absolutely amazing. George Harrison and Ken Brown got the gig before he brought in his friends Paul McCartney and John Lennon, because the group that was going to appear, but they decided not to play where the Casbah is located. We're a good distance away from the center of town of Liverpool. It's hard to find.
Okay, Gmail.
So that's my Gmail. And if you can you put your number?
This is the entrance to the Casbah. This place became the entrance after the place became so popular that they couldn't fit in the original entrance, which is on the other side of that wall. It's so amazing that John and Paul and George did all the artwork inside here. John was an art student, and even the woman that he married, Cynthia Powell, came here, and she created some of the artwork in here too. I'll try to show you that.
Paul's, there's a little club gig in Liverpool. I said, you need to come back to the Casbah.
Behind me is the original entrance. This was the way the Beatles came in. This is the way everybody came in when the place first opened up. So many people crowded into this place. First of all, it was beyond any capacity level. So they really stretched the limits to get them in here. But for the first 2 months when it was open, they used this as an entrance. But they had to close this up and create a new entrance to bring in more people at a faster rate. You can see the stars on the ceiling. The stars were painted by John Lennon and George Harrison. This on the wall, this is a silhouette of John playing. That was painted by Cynthia Powell, who became Cynthia Lennon, John's wife. They met at art school. The two of them met while they were art students at the Liverpool Art School in the city, down in the center of town.
And have you seen him many times, Paul?
I see them all the time.
All the time.